Welcome back everybody to the channel. Today's video we're talking about the recently announced stuff from DC Comics at ComicsPro. We have a lot of cool announcements, a new Absolute Green Arrow series, we got details on Absolute Catwoman, a lot of cool stuff coming from DC Next Level as well. And I'm not even going to bury the lead, dude. Let's start off with some of the Absolute Universe news. So the Absolute Universe is on fire right now. I know everybody's been loving it. You got Absolute Batman, of course, is kind of the highlight, but I've been loving Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman as well. It looks like Absolute Green Arrow is kind of the next big series that's coming out of the Absolute Universe. So we know that Pornsak is the comic book writer attached to this series. I'm not too familiar with Pornsak stuff, but a lot of people seem to be hyped to see that he is attached to this Absolute Green Arrow series. And then we have artist Raphael Albuquerque. I think he's got such a cool style. We've been seeing Raphael's artwork over on Superman Unlimited, I think, and even though I dropped that series, I don't think the art was the problem with that series, in my opinion. I think the art was really strong for Raphael. So this is a great pairing, and I think that this is going to be a 6-issue miniseries. So, you know, make of that what you will. I kind of wish it was an ongoing, but I guess they don't want to have too many ongoings in the Absolute Universe. So kind of makes sense to at least give us a little 6-issue miniseries here and there. This is coming out on Wednesday, May 20th, right around my birthday, so perfect timing there. The solicit reads, "Without the trick arrows, without the money, without mercy, what is left of Absolute Hunter? A serial killer is slaughtering corrupt billionaires, and the only clue to his identity is the green arrows protruding from the victims' bodies. Executive Protection Specialist Dinah Lance, also known as Absolute Black Canary, is assigned to uncover the murderer's identity as she investigates a list of suspects drawn from the ranks of DC's most dangerous archers. Each one is uniquely connected to recently murdered Oliver Queen. We know that happened in the events of Absolute Evil, if you guys caught that. A deadly mystery unfolds in this urban horror reimagining of the Emerald Archers mythos, brought to life by Eisner Award winners Pornsak and Raphael Albuquerque." So that's the solicit we have for Absolute Green Arrow. Seems like that's the kind of setup for the series. We have this mysterious archer guy. He's going around trying to get revenge on those that have killed Absolute Green Arrow in the events of Absolute Evil. And it looks like Dinah Lance is going to be hunting him down. So I'm excited for this. This should be pretty cool. And we have the preview pages here. So just a great example of Raphael Albuquerque's artwork. It's got like a lot of red highlighting, which I guess leads people to believe that maybe this is a version of Speedy or something like that. With all the red highlights, I guess. And he's got like this cool sort of skull mask. He looks a little bit like Taskmaster, if I'll be honest with you guys. We know that it's probably going to be action-packed. It looks like we get some sword fighting aspects as well. And then this might be a villain of this 6-issue miniseries. I guess we'll have to see. And then we have some variant covers as well. So the mysterious archer guy with the cool mask. We have this kind of look, early look at this version of Absolute Dinah Lance as the Absolute Black Canary. That's pretty cool. It has that leather jacket, fishnet sort of look that we would expect her to have, maybe. And then some more variant covers down there. Next up, though, let's talk about Absolute Catwoman, another 6-issue miniseries that was originally announced last year, but we finally have more details and some preview pages that we'll get into. So we know that this is co-written by Che Grayson and Scott Snyder. I've not read Che Grayson stuff, but I have Scott Snyder more involved with the Absolute Universe. He's just killing it. So that's always cool. And then artwork from Bangle. I last caught Bangle stuff when Bangle teamed up with Rick Remender for the series Napalm Lullaby. And that's a really sick series you guys should check out. So I'm all in for this, even though I don't know too much about Che Grayson as a writer, but Bangle on the art. And it's just a focus on Absolute Catwoman. I think she's a really exciting part of the Absolute Universe. Her design is so cool. The solicit reads, "With all the wealth, with all the gear, with all the skills, she is the absolute apex predator. Selena Kyle has carved a good life for herself. Through her ingenuity and skills, she has become the greatest thief the world has ever known. With high-tech gear and weaponry, there is no place too secure for Catwoman. But when someone from her past comes knocking at her door, everything she has built begins to collapse. To survive, Selena must unravel a mystery that takes her across the globe and deep into the shadows of the Absolute Universe." So we know that she's kind of got this high-tech sort of aspects to her when they revealed the character look, and we saw Nick Dragotta sort of designs. She's got all sorts of tech and gadgets that she's going to be using. They wanted to make that a focus for this character. And here are some black and white preview pages before the colors are added. looks pretty heisty. We got Selena Kyle just sulking around in the shadows, right? So I'm excited for this 6-issue miniseries, sort of like a heist sort of slant to an Absolute Universe series, and this is one to pick up for sure. So maybe even some backstory as well, as we see sort of like a young Selena Kyle. So yeah, just learning more about Selena Kyle, and I think that's great stuff. We got some variant covers as well. A lot of people are going to be all over these, I'm sure, for certain reasons, you know. And then also we know that, let me scroll to the very bottom here. We know that there's going to be an Absolute mini event series that's coming at the Q4 of 2026. So we got to be a little bit more details to come on this, I'm sure. But yeah, that's pretty exciting to have an event finally for the Absolute Universe. We know we have some crossovers we've had between Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Batman for sure. But, you know, we're waiting for that kind of big crossover event that kind of ties together everything that's been going on with all the revelations in Absolute Evil, right? We know that there's a lot of players. So yeah, a lot of gears turned in the Absolute Universe, and it's kind of cool to see it all expanding. So that's the Absolute Universe news. Next up, let's talk about the DC Next Level stuff, because there's a ton of DC Next Level announcements as well. We know that the DC Next Level initiative is in full swing. We got Batwoman, Lobo, Deathstroke, Fury of the Firestorm, and Zatanna coming in the next couple months. But next up for DC Next Level, we have Barbara Gordon Breakout. This was on the slide that was teased way back when DC Next Level was first announced, but we have this Barbara Gordon series written by Mariko Tamaki. She had a really nice run on, it was Batman Detective Comics, and I thought it was pretty sick. So I think Mariko Tamaki, and then she also did Zatanna Bring Down the House, I believe, right? So Mariko Tamaki is so tuned into DC. That's a great pick for a Barbara Gordon series. I'm not sure who the illustrator is. Amanke. I'm not sure what Amanke has worked on previously, but from the preview pages that I'll show you in a second, it looks pretty good. It says, framed, outlawed, hunted, the extra-legal activities of Gotham City's vigilantes have never been more dangerous. After Barbara Gordon is arrested for aiding the Bat family, she is shipped off to Supermax, GCPD Commissioner Vandal Savage Pet Project prison for all who oppose him. She will find herself alone, surrounded by dangerous criminals and equally dangerous guards, in a place where nothing is what it seems. The true danger is just beginning. So it looks like Barbara Gordon is going to try to break out of prison, and this seems like a pretty interesting concept. It ties into what's going on in the main Batman title. We know that Matt Fraction just killing it over there. A lot of cool story beats, and it looks like this picks up on those, and we have some cool variant covers as well. I think this one's the main cover A that I'm showing on screen. I got some DNA covers as well. DNA getting busy in the DC universe. The Jorge Corona matching set cover, if you're into that, for all the DC Next Level titles. And a lot of cool stuff. Looks like, you know, being in prison, Barbara Gordon, along with a bunch of villains, they're not going to be too happy. So we'll see how Barbara Gordon handles all of that. Next up, we got a Deadman series from the creators of Ice Cream Man. If you guys didn't catch Ice Cream Man from Image Comics, this crazy, whacked out sci-fi horror anthology, really crazy stuff in Ice Cream Man. And that creative team followed it up over at DC on the Black Label, Black Label imprint. They did Superman Kryptonite Spectrum, a little four or five, I think it was 5-issue miniseries that focused on Superman. Really wacky stuff as well. That brought that wackiness from Ice Cream Man, and looks like they're continuing that momentum over at DC for an in continuity, a Deadman series. So this is not a DC Black Label. This is in continuity from the events of DCKO, and we're looking forward to it. The solicitation reads, in the aftermath of DCKO, the balance between life and death has been thrown into chaos, leaving souls trapped in a dangerous loop of ghostly derangement. Only Boston Brand, the one and only Deadman, can possess the living and the metahuman alike to uncover the source of disruption and restore order before the entire world slips into spiritual freefall. So very interesting setup, ties into everything, the fallout of DCKO, and it looks like this is the main cover A here. Quite possibly, and then it does look like we have variant covers there, or maybe that is the variant cover and this is the A cover. I'm not sure, but a Deadman series is coming soon. DC also revealed a new Teen Titans series, which is a little confusing because I think they have new Titans already going with Sammy Basri and Tate Bromble, I believe. That hasn't even started up quite yet, but it looks like they're also doing a Teen Titans series as well. So I don't know how this is really going to work, but we know that the creative team attached is Kyle Higgins and Danielle Di Nicuello. Niccolo probably. The series offers a new take on the iconic team, with Red Hood joining with a group of plugged-in, hyper-capable young heroes to find missing teens with superpowers. So it looks like this is kind of where DC wants to place Red Hood. Kind of like, hey, what are we doing with Red Hood after that fallout of that other series that, we don't have to talk about that, all that drama, but now they know what they want to do with Red Hood, and it looks like he's going to be leading this new DC, this new Teen Titans team. So very interesting. And then the last things for the DC Next Level portion, looks like we have some word on what's coming in the future. So summer 2026, we got the Legion of Superheroes coming. We have Doom Patrol coming, which I don't know if we knew that previously. I don't think that was on the slide when they announced DC Next Level stuff a while back. Jonah Hex, I know we had word on that a couple months ago, but cool to see that coming sooner rather than later. We got the Demon, as well as Batman Shadow of the Bat. I think that out of this bunch, Legion of Superheroes is interesting to me because I've never read Legion before, and I think Josh Williamson has, stated publicly that he wants to be attached to that. So it seems like he has some excitement for that title, that property, and I'd be cool seeing him jump on it and seeing his take. And then Doom Patrol is always exciting. I think Doom Patrol is such an underrated team over at DC. I think there should be way more Doom Patrol series, and hopefully this ends up being an ongoing. That could be cool. And then Jonah Hex, that's an interesting one for me because I'm a Western fan. I like the Cowboys, so looking forward to whatever Jonah Hex ends up being. The last kind of stuff that I want to talk about today are all the announcements regarding Vertigo. So DC Vertigo is well underway at this point. We have Bleeding Hearts came out last week at the time of recording. This week, End of Life came out, but we know a lot more DC Vertigo titles are coming. So it looks like they're going to be doing 2 titles set to debut in each quarter for the rest of the year. That's kind of a smart way to do it. You don't want to blast everybody in the face with DC Vertigo. You want to kind of drip it out and make it a imprint that's worth coming back to. And it looks like on the timeline we have the 100 Bullets return is coming in summer 2026 along with Fanatic. And then in the fall of 2026, we're getting Necrotatious and Black Tower, The Raven Conspiracy. Necrotatious is a time travel series written by Tom Taylor, I believe, with Scott Derrickson on the art. And then the Black Tower, The Raven Conspiracy is Mike Perkins on the art with Ram V on the writing. And that one's like a wizard spy series. So that one is really highly anticipated for me. I don't know too much about Fanatic. I think it's like someone who's really obsessed with a comic book creator, maybe ends up like killing the comic book creator and has to hide the body, something like that. Some fanatic, crazy fanatic fan situation going on. I've never read 100 Bullets, so I don't know what to expect for this return. I have to read the original series. And then we know that in winter of 2026, we have Crying Doll, which I don't know too much about that one either. And then we know that The Walking Shadow, I believe it's called, from Cy Spurrier and Aaron Campbell, I think. That one's all about these people who wake up with no memories and they're all chained up together, attached to a boat in the middle of the woods. That's a crazy situation. I don't know what's going on with that. I think it's more of like a horror slanted series. So we're looking forward to all of those DC Vertigo titles as they release throughout the year. So Fanatic is from Grace Ellis and Hannah Templer. Looks like Tom Taylor, yep, that's right, and Derek Robinson. I don't know what I said previously. Black Tower, The Raven Conspiracy, Ron V. Mike Perkins is a spy thriller. And then we know that Crying Doll is a historical drama from Mariko Tamaki. So Mariko Tamaki getting some more work over at DC. That's cool to see, with art from Rosemary Valeria O'Connell. And then A Walking Shadow is Cy Spurrier and Eric Campbell. I was correct. So that's all we got from DC's ComicsPro 2026 announcement. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Let me know which series you're most excited for down in the comments. I'd be curious to know. And while you're down there, like if you like, sub if you love, and you really like it, you can hype it. Also, be sure to check out yesterday's new Comic Book Day video. And then just let everybody know, every single Monday I go live here on the YouTube at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we go over the previous week's comic book reviews. We look forward at the current week's new Comic Book Day polls, and then we do a random topic, like a larger topic, and it's really fun talking with you guys, the audience, live. And I think next Monday, we're going to be talking about the DC Solicit. So a lot of this stuff will be on there, I'm sure, but more stuff as well. So look forward to that. Thank you guys for watching, and read more comics.